Yes, I'm coming to you from a shower, and I have the whole day to myself to read The Poppy War. I'm already obsessed. Rin, the main character, is dark. It feels weird to be sitting by a pool and reading this, to be honest. This is a historical military fantasy novel by R.F. Kuang, who has also written Babel, Yellowface, like you know who she is. It's based on real events that happened during the Sino-Japanese War, and I'll check back in with you guys after I've read a little bit more. About the Poppy War, I'm on page 204, and it's probably the best fantasy book I've read, and I'm not even halfway through, so we're loving it. I feel like there's always something going on, some action happening, but also nothing happening at the same time. There's lots of war politics, which typically I feel like I wouldn't like the war politics in it, but somehow it's so engaging and interesting, and it's so fun to learn about as Rin is learning things. And also Rin is just a great character, which makes it easy to read. But I'm obsessed. Also sorry for the background music, but this is our view right now. I'm about to head down to the pool and hopefully continue to get some reading done. So it's been weeks since I got back from Cancun, and I finished The Poppy War probably like the day after I got home from Cancun, and I realized I have yet to update you guys and finish out this vlog. So here we are. I also got a new coffee table, which is behind me, and I can't wait to give you guys a full apartment tour and an upcoming video. But nonetheless, let's talk about my review of The Poppy War. As you guys know, while I was reading this in Cancun, I was loving it. It felt strange to be reading such a heavy, dark, military fantasy while I was on vacation, laying out in the sun every day by a pool by the beach. But I'm so happy that I did, because I can't believe I put this off for so long, and I can't believe that R.F. Kuang wrote this when she was 19 years old. She's truly an incredible woman, and I cannot wait to read more of her books. The next book I want to read of hers is Babel, and obviously her new release, Catabasis, don't really know how to say it properly yet. As I was finishing this book, first of all, let's talk about some things that I loved about this book. I adored Rin in the beginning of the book. My opinion on her kind of fluctuated throughout. I feel like she did the best with what she had, but at the same time, towards the end, my feelings kind of changed about her. I'll get to that in a second. But I absolutely loved the world building. I loved the characters. I loved that the characters were also very morally gray. And despite this being a very dark book, dealing with heavy topics, dealing with really heavy topics that actually happened in history and kind of shedding a light on extremely traumatic events, also had a light side, at least for the first half. And at times it was funny, and I was having a blast reading it. I loved getting to know all of the characters. I felt like they were all so creative and distinct from one another. I also loved the politics and the world building. I felt like there were portions of this book that would have normally felt info dumpy and a fantasy, but the way that it was written made it feel so engaging, and it felt like I was learning, but also I wasn't having to try very hard to follow what was going on, and it didn't feel like our Kwong was like, just here's all this information, you can parse it out on your own. It felt like she gave us a lot of information, but it was still really engaging and really enjoyable to read. And it kind of gave me a newfound appreciation for history, because I'm someone, well, I do love historical fiction, but I wouldn't say that I am someone who seeks out historical information or loved history class when I was in school. But I feel like this book has given me a newfound interest for learning more about history in general. And I know that's kind of weird to say coming from a fantasy book, but this is based on true events that happen in China's history, so that's kind of why I'm saying that. I also thought that Art of Kwong did a really great job of making you question the difference between right and wrong and how she presented war in itself. And particularly one quote that really stood out to me, and I feel like stood out to a lot of people, and I'll put it up on the screen because I'm probably gonna get it somewhat wrong. Basically, war does not determine who is right and who is wrong. War just determines who remains at the end. And I feel like that is one of the core themes of this book, one of them. And I thoroughly loved this book. I gave it 5 stars initially, but I feel like I'm gonna take it down to 4.75 because I feel like the other books in the series might be true 5 stars, or Babel might be a true 5-star for me, because at the end of this book, there were a few moments where I felt like Rin came across differently, or not that she came across differently. I felt like her reaction to things didn't really make sense. Basically, a huge traumatic thing happens, and Rin is confused that it happens even though it's kind of been what she was building up to for a while. And she questions if she did that even though she actively made choices to do that. And while I could kind of see it, maybe she had an out-of-body experience. Well, she did, kind of, I don't know. I'm trying not to be too spoilery, but I just felt I felt like her reaction to that was kind of irritating. And again, she is a child that's been through so much, but the ending, it just didn't hit as hard as I wanted it to hit. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, yeah, the ending kind of fell flat for me a little bit. But again, it is setting up to be a trilogy, so it's still a fantastic read, nearly a 5-star read for me. If you are at all interested in this book, I highly recommend picking it up because you will not regret it. Just make sure you're in the headspace to read about something that is intensely emotional, dark, and tragic. But if you're in that place, definitely pick it up. Also, if you guys have read the Poppy Ward trilogy, let me know which of the 3 books is your favorite in the series, because I would love to know. I have yet to pick up the next ones. I'm currently reading some other books right now, and I'm like putting off picking up the other ones, so I need some motivation. So motivate me in the comments to pick up the rest of the trilogy. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye!